You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I'm excited to have Chris Johnson, the Public Information Officer of the Reno Police Department, joining us today. Chris, thank you so much for being here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're talking Halloween and Halloween safety. And, you know, as a parent, I'm thinking, oh, do I need to be going through the candy, this, that, and the other? But really and truly, there are other things that we as a community need to be mindful of when it comes to Halloween and safety.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
sunset.
Yep, sunset absolutely. When the sun sets earlier in the day, you know, you could get sun in your eyes when you're driving a vehicle. And so it's very important that when you're driving around on Friday, and any day for that matter around sunset, to make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and be aware of different pedestrians that are walking along the street and on the sidewalks.
And what are some of the other issues that Reno Police really want to get out to the community to be safe and have fun this Halloween?
Yeah, so some of the things that we're recommending is have a flashlight. When you're crossing the street, make sure that you're seen by motorists, and motorists are able to see pedestrians as they're walking. If you have a costume on, maybe have a glow stick or something, again, so you're able to be seen at night, because that's what's really important. We want to make sure that drivers are able to see pedestrians, and that pedestrians know that the drivers see them before stepping in the street or in the crosswalk.
And Halloween aside, I mean, just the other day, I was driving around that dusk time and there was a jogger and I couldn't see that jogger. They weren't wearing anything reflective. They were just wearing black and brown, you know, the typical yoga pant or whatever. Yeah. and it was very difficult to see them.
Yeah. So as pedestrians, you also got to make sure that you make eye contact with the driver. You know, when the sun is setting and in driver's eyes, they might not necessarily see you, just like you described. So before you step out into the street or before you go into the crosswalk, look left and right, make eye contact with the driver, and make sure that that driver sees you before stepping into the street, because we would hate to have somebody get hit.
Right. And then when it comes to kids and when it comes to trick-or-treating, there are some also rules of trick-or-treating, like don't knock on a door that's lights are off, and that could be for your children's safety as well.
Yeah, so if you're out trick-or-treating, you know, the general rule of thumb, if the lights are on, the porch lights on, then you can go up there, knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and you know, trick-or-treat for some candy. Some other things that parents can be aware of or to look out for, some tips is, you know, there's a lot of different apps to be able to see where your child is if they're out trick-or-treating. If they choose to trick-or-treat with friends, you know, maybe have a Find My app on your phone for Apple devices, or Live 360 or other different devices or apps that will track your kids so that you know where they're at when they're out trick-or-treating.
That's a fantastic idea that I didn't even think of. So there is, like, you can purchase like those little trackers or whatever.
Well, there's that. Yeah, you can do that, or there's apps already built into your phone. So I know that Apple iPhones have a Find My function. You can share your location with family members.
Such a phenomenal idea that, you know, I didn't think of. All this new tech, Chris. Okay, and then when it comes to candy, do we still live in a time where we need to be going through candy when the kids bring their wares home?
Yeah, absolutely. When you guys get your candy, or your kids get your candy and bring it home, make sure you dump that bag out and look through the candy. Make sure that there's nothing that's open, nothing that's torn, nothing that's kind of homemade or just looks kind of weird. Just stick to the normal candy that's in there and throw that away, and explain to your kids why you're going through that, because they might be upset that you're going through their candy, and just tell them, hey, there might be some opened ones and we don't want you to get sick.
Exactly, because even I was talking to my parents. My parents are taking the kids trick-or-treating, and my mom said, well, what do I need to be looking for? I said, listen, just the brand name candy is fine, but even if it's a brand name label, make sure there's no holes or that it's not open, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Anything else safety-wise that we might not even consider or be thinking of that RPD just really wants to get the message out for safety?
The key is to really be aware of your surroundings when you're walking around. Look out for vehicles if you're trick-or-treating. If you are drivers, please look out for pedestrians. There's going to be a lot of kids out and about on Friday night. And so it's going to be a great day to go trick-or-treating. I think the weather's supposed to be pretty good as well. So there's going to be a ton of people out there, and just please drive cautiously and be aware that there's going to be kids all over the place.
And then so we've been focused on the kids and the messaging for parents and kids, but also Halloween falls on a Friday.
Yes.
It falls on a 3-day weekend, and there's going to be a lot of partying. So
Correct.
I mean, the common sense rules of safety, right?
Yep, the common sense. Like I said, be aware of where your kids are at. Have those conversations with kids. Because when you have open and honest conversations, the kids tend to understand a little bit more where you're coming from versus just saying no. So just be aware of your kids, be aware of what's happening around downtown, around the whole city, around the state for that matter. It's Nevada Day. And so there's a lot of fun stuff happening this weekend.
Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having
being
me.
here.
Yeah, anytime.
You're watching 2+U Nevada.